We got a preemptive defense when someone stresses the fact they are a nice guy or girl, that you should trust them right away, or emphasizes their credibility without provocation from you whatsoever. Be wary. Toxic and abusive people, excuse me, uh, overstate their ability to be kind and compassionate. They often tell you that you should trust them without first building a solid foundation of trust. They may perform at a high level of sympathy and empathy at the beginning of your relationship to dupe you, only to unveil their false mask later on. To counter a preemptive defense, reevaluate why a person may be emphasizing their good qualities. Is it because they think you don't trust them, or because they know you shouldn't? Trust actions more than empty words,
Mhm.
and see how someone's actions communicate who they are, not who they say they are.
Yeah.
That's right. Actions speak louder than words. 100%.
Absolutely. Triangulation, bringing in the opinion, perspective, or suggestive threat of another person into the dynamic and interaction is known as triangulation, often used to validate the toxic person's abuse while invalidating the victim's reactions to the abuse. Triangulation can also work to manufacture love triangles that leave you feeling unhinged and insecure.
Yeah,
Yep.
the most common one you're going to see on this is where, even though you're in a relationship and for some reason she's with you, she will turn her friends or her family against you and pit them against you to keep you in line. That shit's no fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that does not sound good at all. Oof. I don't know, man. It seems like the triangulation that seems to me like that is a high chance of ending up in a murder suicide situation.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Listen,
Not good.
getting ganged up on sucks. So I mean, if you're having a problem with your significant other, and then she brings in her friend, and they're both fucking hitting you, telling you, "Oh, you're wrong," blah blah. Just get the hell out of that situation. It's not
Yep.
going to take you anywhere good.
Yep. To resist triangulation tactics, realize that whoever the narcissist is triangulating with is also being triangulated by your relationship with the
Yep.
narcissist as well. Everyone is essentially being played by this one person.
Mhm.
Reverse triangulate the narcissist by gaining support from a third party that is not under the narcissist's influence, and also by speaking your own validation.
Again, that advice sounds
Yep.
good, but
It's hard to do.
leave. that's
Just
the correct advice. Leave.
It's not going to take you anywhere good.
No.
Listen, you are not going to have a long and happy, contented relationship with a woman who's narcissistic or has a bipolar problem.
Mhm.
That's why I am adamant on when you go to a woman's house for the first time, look in the medicine cabinet, take pictures of what's there, Google it later. If they're head meds, block her on your phone, never go back.
Mm-hmm. Which rules out like what 60% of them right there.
58% of
58%.
all the women under 30 have some type of mental problem.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Let's see. They got 15. Bait and feign innocence. Toxic individuals lure you into a false sense of security simply to have a platform to showcase their cruelty. Excuse me. Baiting you into a mindless, chaotic argument can escalate into a showdown rather quickly with someone who doesn't know the meaning of respect. A simple disagreement may bait you into responding politely initially, until it becomes clear that the person has malicious motive of tearing you down.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
That's
There's hoovering.
And that's when you say, okay, I see this conversation is going nowhere. I'm going to leave now.
Listen, my word of advice is if you're in a relationship and you're getting treated like this on the regular,
Mhm.
it's not going to go well. Cut bait, get away, reset.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's just heartbreaking. I see so many guys get fucked over this.
Yeah, and the thing is, I noticed, and myself included, when I was younger, A lot of men will just stick around and hope it gets better. It doesn't get better, man. It's not going to get better for you.
Nope.
Nope. It helps to realize when you're being baited so you can avoid engaging altogether. Provocative statements, name calling, hurtful accusations, or unsupported generalizations, for example, are common baiting tactics. Your gut instinct can also tell you when you're being baited. If you feel off about a certain comment and continue to feel this way even after it has been expanded on, that's a sign you may need to take some space to reevaluate the situation before choosing to respond. Again,
Get the hell out.
trust your gut. Your gut will more often than not be the correct judgment call.
Just get the hell out of there, man.
Yep. There we go.
Is that all
Boundary
of
test. We got 4 more here
Oh, okay.
for through this one. Then we can get back to the chats here. I know there's quite a few on MGTOW and everywhere else. We'll see if we can knock through these here real quick.
Okay.
Boundary testing and hoovering. Narcissists, sociopaths, and otherwise toxic people continually try and test your boundaries to see which one they can trespass. The more violations they're able to commit without consequences, the more they'll push the envelope.
Yep.
That's why survivors of emotional as well as physical abuse often experience more severe incidences of abuse each and every time they go back to their abusers.
Yeah, there's a cycle to it. And I'm not the psychologist here, but you're going to go through the love bombing phase, then you're going to go into the devaluing phase, then it's going to get to that abuse, then it's going to go back to the love bombing. And every time you go through that cycle, that person becomes more and more hostile and volatile towards you. Not to mention, they're losing more respect every time that cycle completes too.
Yep.
That sounds just so great.
Oh, yeah, lovely. It's a
So
good walk in the
excited.
park on a Sunday afternoon, man.
I'm so excited to walk into that situation tomorrow. Not.
Yeah.
No,
No.
thank you.
Abusers tend to hoover their victims back in with sweet promises, fake remorse, and empty words of
Mhm.
how they're going to change, only to abuse the victims even more horrifically. In the abuser's sick mind, this boundary testing serves as punishment for standing up to the abuse and also going back to it. When
Yep.
narcissists try to press the emotional reset button, reinforce your boundaries even more strongly rather than backtracking on them. Remember, highly manipulative people don't respond to empathy or compassion. They respond to consequences.
And even then, the consequences. Let's say they end up in the slammer for an evening. Their consequences. They don't even care that they did something wrong. They care that they got busted. So keep that in mind too. They don't
Yep.
even care about the consequences. It's only that they got caught.
They
Yep.
got fucking caught. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yep.
Mhm.
Aggressive jabs disguised as jokes.
Oh,
Covert
yes.
nar-
Step on for a second.
This is the
You're right, go ahead.
equivalent of belittling.
Mhm.
You get belittled. The woman will belittle the man in front of his friends and family and try to create that doubt to crush the man's frame in so that he can be manipulated.
Yep. Let's see. Covert narcissists enjoy making malicious remarks at your expense. They're usually dressed up as just jokes so that they can get away with saying appalling things while still maintaining an innocent, cool demeanor. Yet, anytime you are outraged at an insensitive, harsh remark, you are accused of having no sense of humor. This
Listen.
is a tactic frequently used in verbal abuse.
Yeah, I've run across this with a male guy. He was a dude, and he would run his mouth and just be a raging asshole. And he would only do it in certain situations where he believed he would, be able to get away with it without being challenged.
Mhm.
And I remember on one different occasion, he finally had gone over the edge, and I walked up to him and just slapped him across his face, called him a bitch. And literally, I just watched it just melt down in front of me. Oh my God. I'm like
Yeah.
this, he reacted like a dude. I felt sorry for him. Like, get the fuck away from me. Just shut your mouth. But yeah, that does happen. And it happens to men too. But the thing
Yep.
is, when men do it, they run the risk getting jap slapped by another dude. Women, they rely on that, he ain't going to hit me because he's a man kind of thing. And they get really nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they're pitted up against another man and then one other dude steps in between the two. Then she gets the balls to start, lunging a little bit more forward and actually reach around and try to slap the dude.
No. There's a tactic for this too. What you're mentioning, this behavior, if you find yourself in a position with one of these lovely women, they will push your buttons in a public setting to get the white knights around to go, oh, she's the poor victim. They'll do that on purpose.
Yes, they do. It's called diarrhea mouth.
Mm.
And women do that all the time. And I made that video like 7 years ago.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.